Welcome to this session on brand management course. So today we will uncover what brand management is, why it is essential, and how it impacts the business. So let us get into the first chapter, that is Introduction to Brand Management. So initially we will understand what is brand management. So brand management is a process of managing your brand's identity and ensuring it consistently aligns with the expectations of your target audience. So this includes everything from your logo, color palette, messaging to your customers, then their overall experience with your brand. So imagine managing a relationship where you constantly ensure that the brand's promises are delivered in every interaction. So now, after we have a basic understanding of what is brand management, let us get into why is brand management so important. So brand management is more than just about marketing your products. It's about creating a distinct, memorable identity that resonates with the customers and stands out in the competitive market. It also includes the strong brand management that results in customer loyalty, trust, and even advocacy, which are priceless for a company's long-term success. In fact, the companies with a strong brands can charge a premium for their products because customers are willing to pay more for a trusted brand. So, for example, Nike can sell running shoes at a higher price compared to no-name competitors because Nike's customers believe in the brand's value. Then we have a real-life example. So think about Coca-Cola. Their branding is so consistent that just seeing their logo or hearing their tagline, that is the taste, the feeling, immediately brings to mind a feeling of joy and happiness, regardless of the product. So that's the power of strong brand management. So let us get into the next chapter. So now that we understand what brand management is, let's take a closer look at the building blocks of a brand. So these are the foundational elements that help define your brand's identity and set you apart from the competitors. So let's now begin with the key brand elements. The first key brand element is logo. So your brand's logo is often the first point of contact with your audience. So think of Nike's swoosh or McDonald's golden arches. So these symbols are instantly recognizable and carry the entire essence of the brand. So let's now move to the second one we have is brand name. It's simple, memorable, and linked directly to the company's vision of offering everything you need. A name like Amazon evokes a sense of vastness and variety. So move to the third one we have is tagline. So tagline that resonates with emotions and establishes a connection with the audience is a perfect tagline. For example, McDonald's "I am loving it" is a perfect example of a next level tagline. So let's now move to the fourth one we have is color palette. So colors are emotionally charged and should be selected carefully to reflect your brand's values. For example, Starbucks uses green to represent freshness, relaxation, and environmental consciousness. So, after we have a basic understanding of a key brand element, let's now move on to how these elements actually shape a brand's identity. So, brand's elements such as the logo, name, tagline, color palette, and typography play crucial roles in shaping how a brand is perceived and how it connects with its audience. So, let's break it down. For example, we have the first one as logo. So, what is it actually? So, the logo is a visual symbol that represents the brand. It's often the first thing people notice about a brand, so it carries significant weight in the brand identity. So, let's now get into the impact it creates. So the logo helps customers immediately recognize a brand and recall its values or personality. For example, we have Nike's swoosh is associated with the movement, performance, and athleticism, instantly evoking ideas of action and motivation. So logos are very simple yet powerful representation of what the brand stands for actually. For example, think about McDonald's golden nuts. So the logo is not just a symbol, it represents the convenience, warmth, and the family friendly fun. Let's now move on to the second one we have, that is the name. So what is it? The brand name is the verbal identifier of the brand. It's typically the most direct way customers refer to a business or a product. Impact it causes is the name communicates the essence of the brand and can influence the customer's perception. A simple, easy to remember name is more likely to stick with the customers. For example, Amazon's names suggest vastness and variety, which aligns with its mission to offer everything under the sun, that is A to Z. And then we have Apple, that is conveys simplicity and innovation, which are the core attributes of the brand's product. Then we have its tagline. So what is it? A tagline is a short, catchy phrase that encapsulates a brand's promise or essence. So the impact it generates is it communicates with a brand stand for in just a few words and helps create a lasting impression in the consumer's mind. So a great tagline can become iconic. For example, Nike's "Just Do It" speaks to motivation, perseverance, and action. It's more than a slogan, it's called a call to action that reflects the brand's empowering message to its audience. Then we have is color palette. So colors are fundamental elements of branding and are used consistently across all the marketing materials to create a recognizable and visually attractive brand. Then we have the impact caused by the colors. So colors evoke emotions and greatly influence the consumer's perceptions. So different colors can elicit the specific feelings and reactions from the people, helping to reinforce the brand's message. For example, we have Coca-Cola's iconic red color. Is not just eye-catching, it's associated with excitement, joy, and celebration. It taps into customers' emotions, making them feel happy and energized. Similarly, Starbucks' green color conveys feelings of relaxation, trust, and sustainability. So let's now move on to the next we have typography. So typography refers to the style and the arrangement of the text used in the brand's visual communications. So the impact it generates is the font choice impacts the tone and the mood of the brand's message. So it can give a brand a modern, classic, playful, or a professional vibe. For example, Coca-Cola's cursive creates a nostalgic and friendly feeling, whereas Rolex sleek and elegant serif font conveys luxury and prestige. So let's now move on to understand how does the tone of the voice influence the customer's perception. So the tone of voice refers to how a brand communicates with its audience through language and messaging. It goes beyond the words themselves and is an expression of the brand's personality and values. The tone influences how customers feel about the brand and can shape their perception of its character. So here's how it works. The first one is Old Spice, that is fun and the bold tone. So the Old Spice uses humor, quirkiness, and over-the-top ads to create a bold, playful brand personality. So the humorous and the exaggerated tone of the voice makes Old Spice memorable and stands out in the often serious world of men's grooming products. It positions the brand as fun, youthful, and fearless. For example, the Old Spice's ads such as "The Man Your Man Could Smell Like" use humor, and outrageous scenarios to create a sense of fun and boldness, making the brand feel approachable and entertaining. So let's now move on to the second one we have is Rolex, the refined and the luxury tone. So Rolex uses a more reserved, refined and luxurious tone in its communication. The language used is sophisticated and elegant, appealing to the customers who value exclusivity and prestige. So the impact it generates is the tone reinforces the brand's image of high status and luxury. It positions Rolex as a symbol of achievement, wealth, and sophistication, targeting the affluent customers who associate the brand with success. For example, Rolex ads focus on craftsmanship, timelessness, and prestige, using refined language and imagery to emphasize the brand's commitment to quality and exclusivity. So words like precision and craftsmanship resonate with the customers who see owning a Rolex as a status symbol. So then, let us understand why the tone of voice matters. So let us now understand this with the help of some key points. The first one is the emotional connection. So the tone helps forge an emotional connection between the brand and its audience. For instance, Ike's friendly and approachable tone makes it relatable and inviting, while BMW's tone conveys a sense of premium quality and driving excitement. So then we have consistency. So maintaining a consistent tone across all the communication is crucial. A brand's tone should reflect its core values and personality consistently across all the touch points. So whether it's on social media, advertisement, or customer service interactions. Then we have brand perception. So the tone of the voice influences how the brand is perceived by the target audience. A funny casual tone might appeal to the younger generations, while a formal and authoritative tone might resonate with a more matured or a professional audience. So let's now understand this with the help of some real life examples. Consider Nike and its "Just Do It" slogan. The tone here is motivational, encouraging action and perseverance. So this tone aligned with Nike's brand as a promoter of the athletic performance and achievement. The brand's language, so whether in ads or social media posts, continues to inspire customers to push through their limits. On the other hand, Apple uses a tone that is simple, aspirational and elegant. Their messaging is often minimalistic, focusing on the beauty and the innovation of their products. The tone reflects the brand's commitment to the clean design and the cutting-edge technology. So let us now move on to the next chapter. Welcome back, guys, to this next chapter. So let's kick things off by talking about types of brand management. So the first one we have is corporate branding. So corporate branding is all about shaping the identity of the entire company, not just one product or service. So think of it as a big umbrella that covers everything under a single brand. For example, we have as Virgin is a fantastic example of corporate branding. So whether you're flying with the Virgin Airlines, using Virgin Mobile, or even taking a trip to the space with the Virgin Galactic, the overarching brand message is the same: adventurous, bold, and fun. The Virgin brand conveys these values across all its services and business, which means no matter what you're experiencing, you know you're getting the same spirit of innovation and excitement. The benefit here is that everything the company does is linked to one big, consistent image. It helps build trust because customers know that they can expect the same experience no matter which part of the company they are dealing with. So let's now move on to the next one, that is product branding. So now let's talk about this. So, product branding is when a company creates distinct brands for different products, even though they all fall under the same company umbrella. The goal is to make each product feel like its own identity, appealing to the different group of customers. For example, take Coca Cola. They have created separate brands for products like Coca Cola Classic, Diet Coke, and Coca Cola Zero. Even though all these drinks come from the same parent company, each one has its own branding and targets a different group. So Coca-Cola Classic is for the people who love the original taste. So Diet Coke appeals to those looking for a low-calorie option. So Coca-Cola Zero targets those who want zero sugar but still crave the taste of Coke. It's all about appealing to specific tastes and needs while still keeping everything under the Coca-Cola umbrella. So next up we have got another one, that is service branding. So this one's a bit different because instead of focusing on a physical product, you are branding the experience itself. So service branding is all about how a customer feels when they interact with your company. For example, we have Airbnb, and it is a perfect example for service branding. So Airbnb is not just about booking a place to stay, it's about the feeling of belonging anywhere in the world. So whether you're staying in a chic apartment in Paris or a cozy cabin in the woods, Airbnb's brand is all about creating memorable, personal experience that make you feel at home wherever you go. So it's not just a service, it's an experience that connects emotionally with the customers. So then we will move on to the next one, that is something a little more personal, that is personal branding. So this is all about you as a person building your own brand. It's how you present yourself to the world, especially if you are in a public facing role or an entrepreneur. Then we have a perfect example. Oprah Winfrey is a perfect example of personal branding done right. So everything she does, whether it's a TV show, her magazine, or her philanthropic work, reinforces her brand, that is trust, empowerment, and inspiration. She's built a personal brand around helping others live their best lives, and everything she touches reflects their core values. So when you build a personal brand, you are really shaping how people perceive you and what you stand for. And just like any brand, consistency is always the key. Oprah didn't just become a household name overnight. She worked on building and maintaining that image for years, and it's all about staying true to your message. Now let's talk about employer branding. So employer branding is all about how your company is viewed as a place of work. It's not just about attracting customers, it's about attracting the best employees. So look at Google. Their employer brand is so strong that people are constantly trying to work there. They have built a reputation as an innovative, creative, and a fun workplace. Perks like flexible work hours, free meals, and a culture of creativity are all a part of Google's employer branding. So by cultivating a work environment that reflects their values, they attract people who are passionate about technology and innovation and who want to be a part of their company that values collaboration and creativity. So employer branding is a key because in today's competitive job market, talented professionals are looking for companies that align with their personal values. So if you have a strong employer brand, you will not only attract great talent but also retain it. So let's now move on to the real life example. So let's put all this into one perspective with a real life example. That is, Nike is a prime example of how branding can work across different strategies. So Nike's corporate brand is all about inspiring athletes around the world to achieve the greatness. They don't just sell shoes, they sell the idea of pushing yourself to be better every day. The message runs through all their products and marketing campaigns. But when you look at Nike Air, that product has its own brand identity, targeting the athletes who want the top performance, while the Nike Free line focuses more on the comfort and the flexibility. Nike also uses service branding with apps like the Nike Training Club, where the focus is on creating a personalized workout experience that motivates and helps people improve their fitness. So Nike seamlessly integrates corporate branding, product branding, and even service branding to create an overreaching identity that's not only recognizable but also emotionally compelling. So each of these strategies help companies manage their brand image, connect with different audiences, and stand out in the competitive markets. So, whether you are running a large corporation or building your own personal brand, understanding these approaches is the key to creating a strong and recognizable presence. So, let's now move on to the next chapter. Alright, let's get into one of the most exciting parts of branding. So, how brands grow? It's all about the brand strategies. It's all about how companies can expand their market presence, keep their customers loyal, and find new ways to make money. So, there are several key strategies brands use to make this happen. So, let's explore each one and see how they work in the real world. So, let's start with the two strategies that are often confused with the brand extension and the line extension. So, brand extension is all about when a company takes its established brand and introduces a new product or a service in a different category. So, the goal here is to leverage the trust and the recognition the brand already has and expand into a new market. But the line extension is when a company introduces variations of an exciting product like new flavors, sizes, or formulations. The goal here is to meet the different consumer needs with the same product category, so without changing the core identity of the product. So then again coming back to brand extension, how that works. So take Apple for example. So they started with computers and then over time they expanded their brand to include smartphones, tablets and wearables like the Apple smartwatch. When Apple launched the iPhone, they didn't need to start from the scratch. Their brand was already associated with quality, design and innovation. So when people saw Apple releasing new products, they trusted that the same quality would carry over. But then coming back to line extension, we will take the example of Coca-Cola. They already have the Coca-Cola Classic, but they have introduced several line extensions such as Diet Coke, Coca-Cola Zero, and Coca-Cola Cherry. So these products still belong to the Coca-Cola family, but they cater to different preferences. Diet options for the health-conscious consumers or new flavors for the adventurous drinkers. So then coming back to the brand extension, why it works. So brand extension works because it taps into the brand's existing customer base and builds on their trust. So the customer already trusts Apple's design and performance. So they are more likely to try out their new products like the iPhone or the Apple Watch. So essentially the brand gets to expand new markets without needing to start from the scratch with a new brand. Then coming back to the line extension we have that helps companies retain and attract more customers by giving them more choices within the same product category. So if a customer loves Coca-Cola but wants a sugar-free option, they can choose the Coca-Cola Zero without leaving the brand. So it's an easy way to expand the market share without needing a whole new product line. Then understand the house of brand versus the branded house. So let's move to the tragic choice companies face when managing their portfolio of brands. That is the house of brands versus the branded house. So, house of brands. What does that stand for? So, house of brands is when a company owns several distinct brands that each have their own identity and marketing. So, each brand operates independently and has its own target audience. Whereas the branded house, on the other hand, is when a company uses one central brand name across all its products and services, creating a unified experience. The company is a brand and every product or the service under that umbrella carries the same brand identity. Then coming back to the house of brands, we have Procter and Gamble, that is a P&G is a great example. They own the several different brands like the Tide, Pampers, Gillette and Olay. So these brands don't carry the Procter and Gamble name on the packaging and each has its own distinct identity. Tide is known for its powerful cleaning. Pampers is trusted for baby care and Gillette is all about shaving innovation. And P&G doesn't try to merge these brands. They allow them to live independently and appeal to a different group of customers. Whereas branded house, take Google as a perfect example of a branded house. All of their products from Google Search to Google Maps, Google Drive and even Google Pixel phones carry the Google brand. There's no need to create different brand identities for each product because they all fit into the same vision, providing accessible, reliable and innovative tech solutions. Then, coming back to the house of brands, why it works. So, a house of brands works well when a company wants to appeal to the different audiences with different needs and preferences. So, by keeping the brands separate, P&G can target distinct markets without one brand diluting the other's image. So, each brand can have its own messaging and personality tailored to its specific customer. Then, coming back to the branded house, we have a branded house works well when a company wants to create a cohesive brand experience across all the products and services. So by using one consistent brand, Google can build customer loyalty and recognition across all their offerings. So when you trust Google Search, you are more likely to trust the Google Maps or Google Drive because they all share the same brand values and the user-friendly experience. So let's now move on to one of the important concepts, that is brand revitalization. So sometimes brand need a little refresh to stay relevant. So this is where brand revitalization comes in. Brands that have been around for a while may need to reinvent themselves to appeal to the new customers or keep their existing audience engaged. So let us understand what is brand revitalization. So brand revitalization is when a company updates or changes its brand identity, messaging, or products to reconnect with the customers and stay fresh in a competitive market. So let us now understand how it works. So take the example of Pepsi is a classic example. So over the years, they have updated their logo, packaging, and even their marketing campaigns to reflect the changing customer attitudes. Pepsi has had to stay relevant by focusing on youth culture and the trendiness, something that's at the heart of the brand. So let us now understand why it works. So revitalization allows a brand to adapt the new market conditions or consumer preferences. So it's about giving the brand a modern twist while still retaining the core values that made it successful in the first place. For example, for Pepsi, it was staying relevant to the younger generations and adapting their messaging to the pop culture has helped them stay competitive against Coca-Cola. So let us now understand another concept, that is niche branding. So this is when a company focuses on a specific narrow segment of the market instead of trying to appeal to everyone. So niche branding is about catering to a particular group with specialized needs. So what is it? So niche branding involves identifying and targeting a specific customer segment with a tailored products, messaging and experiences. Now let us understand how it works. Take an example of Tesla. So Tesla doesn't make any car. They focus on creating luxury electric vehicles that cater to a market of the eco-conscious consumers who also want the cutting edge technology. So Tesla is about innovation, sustainability, and performance, so which resonates with a specific group of customers who value these traits. Now, you must be thinking why it works. So by focusing on a niche market, Tesla can build customer loyalty stronger. Their branding is deeply tied to their audience's value, that is, innovation, sustainability, and performance. It's a powerful way to connect with a specific group, and because Tesla is offering something unique, they can command a premium price and build long term customer relationships. Now, let's understand this with the help of a real life example. So, let's zoom in on Tesla as a real life example. So Tesla's branding is all about innovation and sustainability. They have carved out a niche market of environmentally conscious consumers who are looking for luxury electric vehicles that offer cutting edge technology. So Tesla's commitment to the eco-friendly driving and advanced technology makes it appealing to those who want to be at the forefront of the green innovation while enjoying a high performance driving experience. So the niche branding allows Tesla to be seen not just as a car manufacturer, but as a lifestyle choice. It's more than just driving. It's about embracing the future of technology and sustainability. So these strategies help brands grow, stay competitive, and connect with the customers in the deeper ways. So let's now move on to the next chapter. We often hear some terms like marketing and branding tossed around together, but they're actually two very different things. And understanding the difference between the two is a key to building a strong, recognizable, and successful brand. So let's start by diving into what these terms really mean and why they are so important. So let us start with branding, that is the foundation. So branding is the foundation of a house. It's what your brand stands for, the core values, personality, and image that you project to the world. So it's the overall identity that customers recognize, connect with, and trust over time. So it includes elements like your logo, the color scheme, and your company values, and even your tone of voice in the communication. But branding goes deeper than just visuals or messaging. It's about how people feel when they think about your company. For example, whenever you hear Nike, you probably think of athleticism, determination, and empowerment. So that's because Nike has successfully built a brand around the idea of pushing limits and achieving greatness. Now let's talk about marketing, the strategy to communicate your brand. So if branding is the foundation, marketing is like the house's interior. It's how you communicate the brand's value to the world and drive action. So marketing is about creating awareness, attracting customers, and generating sales through various tactics. So marketing includes things like advertisements, social media posts, email campaigns, SEO, and even public relations. So essentially, marketing is about telling your audience why your brand is relevant, solving their problems, and getting them to act. So whether that's making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, or sharing your content. So while branding is about who you are and what you stand for, marketing is about how you communicate the message to the world and inspire the action. So now, let's understand how brands make and deliver on their promises over time. So the first point is making promises. Now, it's one of the most crucial aspects of branding is a promise that a brand makes to its customers. Then let me ask you, what does your brand promise? So think about the promises that Coca-Cola makes. It promises to deliver a refreshing, happy, and joyful experience every time you take a sip. Or think about Tesla. They promise innovation and a sustainable future with their electric cars. Your brand promise is a reflection of what you want customers to feel, experience, and expect from you. But here's the catch: a promise is only valuable if you deliver on it. If your brand promises something but fails to deliver, that trust evaporates quickly and it's hard to rebuild. So, consistency is the key over here. Now, let's move on and understand delivering on your promises. So, how do brands actually deliver on their promises over time? So, it's all about consistency and the customer experience. A brand needs to be consistent across all the touch points, whether it's online, in store, or in customer service. So, every interaction should reinforce what the brand stands for. For instance, Apple has built its brand on innovation, simplicity, and premium quality. So, from the design of their products to their retail stores and customer service, everything they do reflects these values. So, if you walk into an Apple store, you are greeted with a clean, sleek, modern environment. The customer service is always top notch, making you feel like a valued customer. So, Apple doesn't just talk about innovation, they show it in every interaction. But it's not just about the big brands. Small businesses can use the same principles. So imagine a local cafe that promises to deliver a cozy, homey experience with every cup of coffee. The barista knows your name, the decor is warm and inviting, and the smell of fresh coffee fills the air. That's delivering on a promise of comfort and warmth. So over time, customers will come to expect that same experience every time they walk in. So let's now understand this with the help of a real life example. So now let's take a real life example to make this clear. So let's talk about Nike. So Nike's brand promise is all about inspiring the athletes to reach their full potential, no matter who they are. Their iconic slogan, "Just Do It," reflects this bold, empowering message. So Nike delivers on its promises through high-performance products, impactful marketing, and the athlete sponsorships. Their products are designed to enhance the physical performance and inspire the empowerment. Now, Nike creates an emotional connection, making you feel capable of achieving more when wearing their gear. So, marketing campaigns feature both professional athletes and everyday people, highlighting Nike's role in helping them perform at their best. So, Nike has built trust over time by constantly delivering on its promise through quality products, campaigns, and sponsorships. So, let's now move on and understand how brands build the trust and loyalty. So consistency plus value is always equal to loyalty. So think about it. When brands consistently deliver on their promises, they build trust. And trust is crucial to customer loyalty. So if a brand promises one thing but the experience doesn't live up to their expectations, customers will look elsewhere. So for example, take Starbucks. Starbucks promises a consistent high quality coffee experience every time you walk into one of these stores. So consistency builds trust. So when a brand delivers the same experience consistently, whether it's the taste of the coffee or the ambience of a store, customers know what to expect. So this reliability fosters trust, encouraging customers to return time and time again. Then we have is branding becomes a ritual. Just like Starbucks has become a part of people's daily routines, strong branding can embed itself in the customers' lives. The more a brand is integrated into their day-to-day, the stronger its connection with them. Then we have creating a real value. So customers stay loyal to the brands that provide genuine value. So whether it's through high quality products or the exceptional customer service or reliability, brands that prioritize the customer experience foster stronger relationships and ensure the long-term retention. Then we have is branding is an ongoing process. So, successful branding is not a one time event, but a continuous effort. A brand must consistently meet the customer expectations, adapt to the changing needs, and deliver value in every interaction to maintain its standing. Then we have is building customer loyalty. So, trust and value go hand in hand in developing the lasting customer relationships. A brand that keeps delivering on its promises is more likely to foster the long term loyalty, ensuring customers return over the years. Now, now as we have a basic understanding of how brands build trust and loyalty, let's now move on to the last chapter. So, welcome back, guys, to this last chapter in brand management. So, now let's talk about the role of a brand manager. So, if you think about brand management as building and nurturing a brand, then the brand manager is the person who is in charge of making it all happen. We're the ones that oversee everything related to the brand from its overall strategy to its daily activities. So, what exactly does a brand manager do? The first one we have is he is creating and maintaining the brand's identity. So then, the brand manager is responsible for making sure the brand's identity stays consistent across all the touch points. They are the guardian of the brand's image, tone of the voice, and messaging. Then now, how it works. So this means ensuring that the brand's logo, color palette, font, and even the tone of the voice in communications are always in line with the brand's core identity. For example, Coca-Cola's cheerful tone, vibrant red color, and the nostalgic messaging are all consistent across their packaging, advertisements, and the digital channels. Now, the second one we have is developing brand strategy. The brand manager is responsible for developing the long-term strategies to grow the brand. So this involves setting clear goals, understanding the target market, and identifying the opportunities for the brand to expand or evolve. For example, if a brand is looking to target a younger audience, the brand manager might develop a campaign or a product offering tailored to this demographic. So Nike's Just Do It campaign is a great example. They consistently develop the strategies around empowering athletes of all kinds, from professionals to everyday people. Now we have is managing marketing campaigns. A big part of a brand manager's role is overseeing the marketing campaigns. They work closely with the marketing teams to ensure that the campaign aligns with the brand's message and goals. Now let us understand how it works. Think of it like the orchestrating a big event. The brand manager makes sure every aspect of the campaign, from the visuals to the messaging, fits within the brand's identity. For instance, when Apple launches a new iPhone, the campaign is tightly aligned with their values of simplicity, innovation, and elegance. Then we have customer research and feedback. So, brand managers are constantly in touch with the customers, collecting feedback and researching the customer needs. So, this helps them understand how the brand is being perceived and what customers are really looking for. So, let us now understand how it works. By using surveys, social media monitoring, and customer feedback loops, brand managers gain insights into whether their brand is meeting the needs of its audience or if there's room for improvement. A great example is how Starbucks listens to their customers' feedback to improve their products and create new experience, like introducing the seasonal drinks or the loyalty programs. Then we have is cross-functional collaboration. So brand managers work across various teams, including marketing, design, product development, and even sales. So they ensure that all the departments are working in harmony to support the brand's mission. Then let us now understand how it works. For example, if a new product is being launched, the brand manager will collaborate with the product team to ensure the product aligns with the brand's identity and values. They also work with the marketing to ensure the launch is properly communicated to the customers, like how Tesla collaborates internally to make sure their vehicles are not just cars, but extension of their brand's focus on innovation. So now, after that, we have understood the role of a proper brand manager. So here are some key takeaways to remember when it comes to the brand management and the role of a brand manager. So branding is a long-term effort. It's not just about a logo or a slogan. It's about shaping and maintaining a consistent identity over time. A brand manager is the brand's steward. They ensure that the brand stays true to its values while also evolving to meet the market demands and the customer expectations. So, branding goes beyond visuals. It's about creating an emotional connection with the audience through consistent messaging, values, and experience. Then we have collaboration is essential. The brand manager works closely with the teams across the company to ensure that the brand is communicated and consistently both internally and externally. Then we have customer feedback is the key. To successfully manage a brand is crucial to constantly gather insights from the customers to ensure the brand remains relevant and resonant. So let's now move on to the conclusion. So in conclusion, brand management is a lot more than just marketing or selling products. It's about creating a lasting connection with your customers, staying true to your brand's identity, and constantly evolving to meet their needs. A brand manager is the person who ensures this process runs smoothly, from developing strategies to managing marketing campaigns and collecting feedback. So at the end of the day, the goal of brand management is to create a brand that the customers trust, love, and feel connected to. One that delivers on its promises time and time again. So whether you are managing a global powerhouse like Nike or a small startup, the principles of the good brand management apply to all. So remember, branding is an ongoing journey, and a great brand manager is always navigating it with a passion, consistency, and a deep understanding of what customers want. That's how you build a brand that stands the test of time. So that's it. Congratulations guys on completing your journey into the brand management course. You have now got a solid understanding of what brand management is all about and why it plays such a powerful role in the business world. From the basics to the most exciting aspects of building and growing a brand, you have explored how brands shape perception, build loyalty, and create lasting value. Most importantly, you have realized the true impact a strong brand can have, not just on customers but on an entire business. As you move forward, use this foundation to think creatively, act strategically, and build brands that truly stand out. Thanks for being part of this journey. Keep exploring, keep creating, and let your brand building skills shine. Your brand story is just getting started. Thank you guys for watching the video.
Staying ahead in your career requires continuous learning and upskilling. Whether you're a student aiming to learn today's top skills or a working professional looking to advance your career, we've got you covered. Explore our impressive catalog of certification programs in cutting-edge domains, including data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, or digital marketing. Designed in collaboration with leading universities and top corporations and delivered by industry experts, choose any of our programs and set yourself on the path to career success. Click the link in the description to know more.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.